Most people ignore this creatine side effect. Big mistake. Creatine is one of the most popular supplements on the planet. It's cheap, effective, and backed by decades of solid science. Athletes use it, beginners try it, and doctors even study it for health and aging benefits. On paper, it looks almost perfect. But here's the problem. Most people focus on the wrong side effects. They worry about myths like instant kidney damage or bulking fat, while completely ignoring the one thing that actually ruins results. It's not physical, and it's not dangerous, but it's powerful enough to make people quit too early or use creatine the wrong way. Today, I'm breaking down the creatine side effect most people ignore, and why overlooking it is a big mistake that can stop you from getting any real benefit at all. But before we begin, drop your name and the city you're watching from in the comments below. Alright, let's dive into it. Number 1. The side effect isn't physical, it's behavioral. This one doesn't show up in the mirror or on blood tests, which is exactly why so many people miss it. The most ignored creatine side effect isn't something you feel in your stomach or see on the scale. It's how your behavior subtly changes once creatine starts working. As creatine builds up in your muscles, strength improves, workouts feel easier, and daily movement requires less effort. That progress can happen faster than expected. With it comes confidence. You lift heavier, push harder, add extra sets, or train more often, sometimes without even realizing you've changed your approach. The problem isn't confidence itself. It's letting that confidence override patience. Muscles adapt quickly with creatine, but joints, tendons, and recovery systems don't keep up at the same speed. When behavior ramps up faster than your body's ability to recover, soreness, aches, or burnout follow. This side effect is easy to ignore because it feels positive at first. You assume you're just more motivated or finally strong. But when progress turns into plateaus or nagging pain, creatine gets blamed instead of the behavior shift it encouraged. Used wisely, creatine is a powerful support tool. But awareness matters. Progress still needs structure, recovery, and smart progression. The supplement didn't cause the problem, rushing the process did. Number 2, you feel stronger before your body is ready. Strength improves faster than structure, and creatine makes that gap more noticeable. By helping muscles produce energy more efficiently, creatine allows you to lift heavier weights, squeeze out extra reps, and recover faster between sets. On the surface, everything feels better, stronger, smoother, more capable. The issue is what you don't feel. Tendons, joints, and connective tissue adapt far more slowly than muscle. They rely on gradual loading, repeated exposure, and time to strengthen. When muscle strength jumps ahead, your support structures are suddenly under more stress than they're prepared for. This is where problems quietly start. At first, it's subtle. Joint stiffness, unusual soreness, or tightness that lingers longer than expected. Because performance is improving, many people ignore these signals and keep pushing. Eventually, that mismatch turns into strains, tendinitis, or nagging aches that derail training. Creatine didn't create the weakness. It simply revealed it by accelerating muscle output. The real side effect is ignoring the lag between strength gains and structural readiness. Smart progression matters even more when using creatine. Warm-ups, controlled increases in load, and proper recovery help tendons catch up to muscle. When patience is respected, creatine supports long-term progress instead of exposing weak links too quickly. Number 3, recovery signals get muted. This is where people stop listening to their body without realizing it. One of creatine's benefits is improved energy availability, which can reduce how fatigued you feel during and after training. Workouts feel easier, soreness seems lighter, and you bounce back faster, at least on the surface. The problem is that feeling less tired doesn't always mean you're fully recovered. Creatine can mask fatigue by keeping ATP levels higher, allowing muscles to perform even when recovery isn't complete. That disconnect is subtle but important. You feel capable, so you train again, push harder, or skip rest days. Over time, small warning signs start getting ignored. Lingering tightness, joint stiffness, low-grade soreness, or declining sleep quality are signals your body uses to ask for recovery. When those signals feel muted, people assume everything is fine and keep stacking stress on top of stress. The danger here isn't creatine itself, it's misreading what your body is telling you. Creatine supports performance, not recovery capacity at the tissue level. Muscles, tendons, and the nervous system still need rest, sleep, and lower-intensity days to adapt. Used wisely, creatine enhances training. Used blindly, it can encourage overreaching. The key is awareness. If performance is improving but discomfort is accumulating, it's time to slow down. Respecting recovery signals ensures creatine stays a tool for progress instead of a quiet contributor to burnout or injury. Number 4. Small aches get brushed off. It's probably nothing until it isn't. This is one of the sneakiest ways creatine-related problems show up. As performance improves and workouts feel smoother, small aches are easier to ignore. A slightly sore elbow, a stiff knee, a tight shoulder. None of it feels serious when strength is going up and energy feels high. Creatine doesn't cause injuries, but it can change how fatigue is perceived. With better energy availability, muscles keep performing even when joints or connective tissue are under stress. Because you're still lifting well and hitting numbers, those early warning signs get mentally filed under no big deal. That's where trouble starts. Small discomforts are the body's way of asking for adjustments. Lighter loads, better warm-ups, more mobility, or an extra rest day. When those signals are brushed off repeatedly, they don't disappear. They accumulate. What starts as mild stiffness can turn into chronic joint pain or a strain that forces time off. The dark side here isn't creatine, it's false reassurance. Feeling strong creates the illusion that everything is fine. The smartest lifters treat small aches as information, not obstacles. Addressing them early keeps progress steady and prevents setbacks. Creatine works best when paired with awareness. Strength gains are exciting, but long-term progress depends on listening to subtle signals before they become loud problems. Number 5. Volume creeps up without a plan. More energy often means more reps and more mistakes. This is a subtle trap creatine sets without anyone noticing. As workouts feel easier and recovery seems faster, people start doing more not because it's planned, but because it feels possible. An extra set here, a few more reps there, one more training day squeezed into the week. Rest periods get shorter. None of these changes feel dramatic on their own, but together, they quietly push training volume higher and higher. Creatine makes this easy because it improves short-term performance and reduces perceived fatigue. You don't feel as beat up, so you assume your body can handle the extra work. The problem is that muscles, joints, and the nervous system still have limits. When volume increases without structure, stress accumulates faster than adaptation. The dark side isn't effort, it's unplanned overload. Progress starts to stall, nagging aches appear, sleep quality dips, or motivation drops. At that point, people often blame creatine, thinking it stopped working. In reality, the body is overloaded. Creatine works best inside a plan. Structured progression, scheduled rest, and intentional volume increases allow the benefits to show without burnout. More work only helps when it's controlled. Without a plan, extra energy turns into hidden fatigue, and that's where problems begin. Number 6. Lifestyle recovery gets neglected. This is the sneaky part. Nobody connects until things start going wrong. When creatine is working, workouts feel easier, strength improves, and fatigue feels lower. That boost can create a false sense of resilience, like your body suddenly needs less recovery than before. As a result, lifestyle habits quietly slip. Sleep gets shorter, meals get rushed or skipped, hydration becomes inconsistent. Because performance hasn't dropped yet, it feels like these things don't matter as much. Creatine is picking up the slack, at least temporarily. But creatine doesn't replace recovery, it only supports performance. It can mask the early consequences of poor habits, not eliminate them. Over time, the cracks widen, energy starts to dip, joints feel a cheer, motivation drops, or sleep quality worsens. When that happens, creatine often gets blamed for issues it didn't cause. The dark side here is misattribution. Instead of recognizing that recovery habits have slipped, people assume the supplement is the problem. In reality, creatine was never meant to compensate for chronic sleep loss, dehydration, or poor nutrition. Creatine works best when it supports a solid foundation. Good sleep, enough fluids, and basic nutrition keep its benefits sustainable. When lifestyle recovery stays strong, creatine enhances progress. When it's neglected, creatine becomes the scapegoat for problems that were building quietly all along. Number 7. The real side effect, overconfidence. This is the biggest mistake of all, and the one almost nobody talks about. Creatine works, and that's exactly why people mess it up. As strength improves, fatigue feels lower, and workouts become easier. Confidence skyrockets. You feel capable, powerful, like your limits suddenly moved. The problem is that confidence can turn into overconfidence without warning. Feeling stronger doesn't mean you're invincible. Creatine improves muscle energy and short-term performance, but it doesn't protect joints, tendons, sleep debt, or poor programming. When confidence outruns awareness, bad decisions slip in. People lift heavier than planned, skip warm-ups, ignore rest days, or chase numbers their structure isn't ready for. Because creatine keeps performance high, warning signs feel muted. Small aches get dismissed. Fatigue feels manageable. Progress looks great, until it suddenly isn't. This is where creatine gets unfairly blamed. Injuries, plateaus, or burnout show up, and the supplement becomes the scapegoat. In reality, creatine didn't cause the problem, it amplified the consequences of careless choices. The dark side isn't strength. It's forgetting the basics. Creatine is a support tool, not a shield. Used with patience, structure, and respect for recovery, it's incredibly effective. Used recklessly, it magnifies poor habits just as efficiently as it boosts performance. The difference isn't the supplement, it's how you use it. So what's the creatine side effect most people ignore? It's not bloating, it's not water weight, it's overestimating what your body can handle just because your muscles feel ready. Creatine doesn't cause problems, ignoring recovery does. When you respect progression, rest, and smart training, creatine becomes one of the safest and most effective supplements you can use. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever pushed too hard because you felt stronger than usual? Or did any of these points hit a little too close to home? If you want a follow-up video on how to use creatine safely, best dosage, or how to avoid injuries while taking it, hit like, subscribe, and tell me what you want next. I'll see you in the next video.